Today is September 1st of 2025, and we are on the road again. Welcome back to Shop Hop. Hi there, I'm Natasha. This is my channel, Always Be Crafting, and we are in for the New England Shop Hop 2025. But it is September 1st, and the All New England Shop Hop is a 2-month event, so it runs the months of September and October, and we're just gonna see how many stores I get to visit. And maybe it'll be more, maybe it'll be less. It'll be what it'll be, and I will just enjoy the journey because that's the way life is, right? Today, we are starting out with 2 stores. These are the 2 stores that I consider my home stores. So I live in the very bottom of Connecticut, almost New York. And I don't have a store. I don't have a quilting store in my town. So my home stores are a couple towns away. The first one I'm going to is Christie's Quilting Boutique in Norwalk, Connecticut. And then I will be heading up to Brookfield, Connecticut to visit Cotton Candy quilting store, quilting shop, whatever it is, Cotton Candy. And so those are my 2, what I consider my home stores. Christie's is only about a 20-minute drive door to door from my house. And Cotton Candy is more of like a 40-minute drive, so it's much further, but it's a much larger store. So I go to both of them probably equally as often. I love to support small businesses, mom and pop shops, especially when the people who run the businesses are just awesome people. I'm on the freeway now, or it's a parkway technically, the Merritt Parkway. So there are no big like semi trucks, but we go fast. So I'm driving fast, and I'm gonna be there in like 9 minutes. I'll show you what I got when I'm done. Bye. Well, I am very glad, sorry about the camera angle here. I am very glad that I began my shop hop at Christie's because it was very joyful. Christie's Quilting Boutique is just a joyful store. Christy is a joyful person. I met her about 15 years ago at a craft fair kind of event. She was there with her quilt table. She was just doing long arm services at that time before she opened up her brick and mortar store. And I was there representing the music company that I work for. And it was before I had the courage to actually make things and sell things, because that wasn't something I had the courage to do back then. And I was like, put me on your mailing list. You know, I wrote down my name. I said, I want to be on your mailing list. I don't have the need for long arm quilting services at this time, but I want to be on your mailing list and stay in touch and know what you're up to. And I'm so glad I did, because I've been able to follow her. And when she opened up her store, I've been, you know, a loyal shopper pretty much the entire time she's been open. Like I said, it's a small store, but it's a lovely store filled with lovely people. And I'm so glad I started there. And I purchased some fabric that I will show you when I get to my next destination, or maybe I will show you everything later at the end, I guess is what I'll do. But I did make some purchases. It was perfect. I am now driving for the next little bit less than 40 minutes to get up to Cotton Candy, and let's see what I get there. I'll see you soon. All right, I am leaving Cotton Candy, and it was another joyful experience. I'm loving coming at the end of the day because it's not as crazy, and you can see that the people working in the stores are exhausted because these stores have been busy. The hoppers have been hopping at these. The shoppers have been hopping, I guess I should say. The shoppers have been shopping, the hoppers have been hopping, whatever it is. Everyone's been shopping, and the people working in these stores are exhausted. But yeah, I am done. I got some good stuff for good prices. Probably bought more than I need, but I lucked out because one thing I needed was something I haven't been able to find, which was Kona fabrics, which is like solid fabric, solid color fabric, solid black. It has been very hard to come by, and I needed it for my September Craftivist Bee block, and I told them I just needed a very small amount. I asked, do you think you have it maybe in a fat quarter bundle somewhere? I don't mind buying something extra. And the person I was helping, or who was helping me, I should say, she said, you don't need very much? I said, no. She's like, I think I have a scrap of it. I was like, really? And because I guess they were cutting it up for, because Halloween is coming, and I think they were cutting it up for bundles, blocks and stuff. She had a not very large scrap. I think she charged me $2, maybe $3, because it was closer to like a fat quarter size scrap. And I was like, I'll take it. I accept. And that was it. It's going to be enough for me to, I believe it's enough. I think it's enough to get what I need for my crafting.llc block for September. I hope it's enough. And I'm just going to have to be very smart about how I cut it. And I think it'll be good. I think I'm going to make it work. So cotton candy came through, and I bought some beautiful stuff home, and that was a really good day. So some good shop hopping, and I'll show you what I got when I get home. Bye. Okay, I'm home. Shall we see what I got? So this year, all New England shop hop. And so you get a pattern at each store, and there is a 3-ring, and you can buy a 3-ring binder. Many of the stores sell them. I know when I was at Christie's, they're like, did you want to buy a binder? And I was like, I can't handle this. This is too much. And I actually think I have a binder that might fit. So I'm going to check and see if my binder that I already have fits these. And if it does, then I'm done. I'll just use the binder I have. And if it doesn't, I'll consider it. But I don't know if I don't know. I don't know if I need that. But this was the one, this specific pattern was the one I got from Cotton Candy. Let's see. Since I'm talking about cotton candy, I'll show you what I got at Cotton Candy. Their freebie was, you could choose between a pumpkin mini quilt or a ghosty mini quilt. Of course, I chose the ghost. Not just because ghosts are adorable, and I love ghosts, but also because the color scheme is way more, I'm much more of a blue girl. So that was, look at those fabrics, right? Cute. So that's the ghost mini quilt, and everything is pretty close to trimmed down, I guess. Or I guess they give you strips, and then I will follow the pattern, and I'll make a little ghosty mini quilt. From there, I purchased, my purchases were, they had 3-yard quilt bundles. So they were down to $25. So that's approximately $8 and 33 cents a yard. So very good price for good quality quilting cotton. I chose this bundle because I just really liked this fabric. I just really liked this Sea Life fabric. And I thought, well, you know what? Why not? I really liked the Sea Life fabric, and I thought, well, this is also Sea Life technically, but it's very, very mild Sea Life, these grays. And then this gingham, it's cute, right? So whether I use it together as a 3-yard quilt or I break them up and use them for other things, that's up to me. But I was really drawn to this outer fabric, and I thought that's a great price. Why not? And then I bought something that I'd actually had my eye on for a while. I don't often get quilt kits because I just don't, because I don't have time to make quilts. I have purchased other quilt kits. So this is not my first quilt kit, but I don't often buy them because I just don't have time to make them. But I had my eye on this quilt kit since, I don't know, the last year. It's Crimson Tate, and it's Letters from Home. And I love all the fabrics in this quilt kit. I love the pattern of the quilt kit. And I thought that would be a really fun quilt to do. And it was marked down 50%. So I got this quilt kit for $50. And I couldn't pass up that price. It was just too good of a price to get. So whether I break it up and just use the fabrics, because the fabrics are fabrics I love, and I do have some of these fabrics already in my stash, but there's others that I had my eye on that I never got a chance to grab. So whether I use the fabric just as fabric or whether I make the quilt is yet to be determined. But I had to get it. I had to get it because I just love the fabric. And for $50, how could I couldn't pass up that price. So I did spend a lot of money because I bought one more thing that was not on sale. I'm trying to do more garment sewing, and I keep saying it. I keep saying I'm going to make more garments, and then I don't. Like this shirt I made myself, and I've made this shirt, this pattern, which is the Scout Tee by Grainline Studio, and I've made it like 5 times. It's my favorite shirt pattern to wear, and I need to make more of them because I love them so much. They're so comfortable, and this, double gauze is like the best fabric to teach in when I'm teaching the little kids. Washes really easy, really light and breezy. Didn't mean to rhyme there. Anyways, I keep saying I'm gonna make more clothes, and then I get distracted and I make a bag. It's like every time I turn around, whoops, I made another bag. But it is my goal, and I have it on my Make 9 from the beginning of the year to like make 3 quilts and make 3 garments. And have I? No. The only quilt I made this year was the quilt for the Quilt Festival. I don't even know that was on my Make 9. Like that wasn't even on my Make 9, so I can't even check that off. So I bought another garment pattern, but it seems like a really easy pattern, I'm hoping. It's from So Liberated, the studio tunic. And I just thought that looks really functional and something I could wear, like an apron, but better because it's got good pockets. And I have an apron, like a kitchen apron that has some good pockets, and I do like wearing it. But it's like the fabric choices my mom had made for me years and years ago, like when I was getting married, so over 20 years ago. And I love the apron and I wear it when I'm cooking, but it's not something I want to wear around. And I thought, wouldn't it be neat if I had something that I could wear and feel like this is I'm going to do my work now. And so I don't have to worry about what's underneath getting dirty and schmutzy. I could put on my work apron and I could make it out of fabric that I chose, that I like. And it's probably just going to be like denim or chambray or something, honestly. Might be corduroy, because the fabrics they recommend, maybe not corduroy, midweight linen and chambray. I have that. Cotton twill, Essex linen, or light canvas. I definitely have canvas. I definitely have cotton twill. I definitely have chambray. I don't have a lot of linen in my stash, but I have the other fabrics. So I'll probably use one of those and make this, because I've got plenty of stuff in my stash. So why not just use it, right? So that's what I'm going to do. Make myself a work tunic so I can get to work and have good big pockets. That's what I got at Cotton Candy. Before Cotton Candy, remember, I had gone to Christie's Sewing Boutique. At Christie's, all right, show you the handout. So she stapled them. I just noticed there was a staple. Gotta see, book a virtual shopping appointment. Okay, here is the card, the hole punched quilt pattern card that everyone gets at every store. You get one of those. And then there's the Northern Star Quilters Guild. Invites you to join. I have been looking for a quilt guild to join. This is in Somers, New York. So that's good to know, because around here, there's not a quilt guild. Like my town, the quilt guild is defunct. Like I reached out to who supposedly runs the branch, the quilt guild in my town. And I've reached out multiple times and I've never heard back. So that's good to know. And then I bought the 5-inch lengths, a whole bunch of K-Facet, because I love K-Facet Collective. I love the 5-inch cut because you can use them for scrunchies. It's perfect for scrunchies. It's perfect for wallets. And of course, it's perfect for putting in quilts. But I love all the colors. And some of these I have in my stash that I just adore. And you just can't go wrong. I might have to make some more scrunchies because I'm a scrunchie girl. And it was also a very good price. It was marked down to $35. Regularly, these are like $50. Oh, I got a free fat quarter from Finding the Hopper. A lot of stores, or I think all the stores, though I didn't look at Cotton Candy, now that I think about it, they probably had a hopper and I just didn't look for it. The stores are supposed to have like these little bunnies or frogs, like these little stuffed animals hidden in the store. And if you find the hopper, you're supposed to take your picture with them. I didn't take my picture with the hopper, but because I found the hopper, which was a bunny in Christie's, she's like, okay, well, you get a free fat quarter for finding the bunny. And I was like, okay, I accept. I will take a free fat quarter. And of course I took this is called Shark's Tooth, and it's a K-Facet Collective print because kept with my K-Facet theme. Oh, and I forgot, when I was at, did I mention this before? When I was at Cotton Candy, I needed Kona Black, and this is Kona Black. So just solid fabric, but I need it for my Craftivist Quilt Bee. So it's a nice size piece. It's a scrap, but paid $2. Totally worth it. I think it's enough to do what I need to do for my September block of the month for my Craftivist group. So that is good. That is a good purchase. Happy. And I think that's it. I think my bag is now empty. Everything out. Yep, that's it, empty bag. So that's Shop Hop Day 1, and I did it on the 1st of September. I don't know when I'm gonna go out and do more shop hopping. I don't know if it'll be this week or next week. There's a lot of things on my to-do list, so I will update you when I update you. Thanks for being here. I hope this is fun for you. Bye. Hello from the road. It is 9:30 on Thursday morning, Thursday, September 17th, and I am back on the road heading to a shop hop. I'm back shop hopping again. It is a long time since my last shop hop. I shop hopped on September 1st, so it is more than 2 weeks since I shop hopped. So I've only done 2 stores so far in the all New England shop hop, but it's been busy. Very, 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 very busy, and it's going to be a very busy month, and I'm not sure that I'm going to shop hop again until next week. I might be able to sneak in a couple of stores. Doesn't matter. Today I'm going to attempt to do 5 stores. I have set aside time today between dropping the kid off at school and picking the kid up from school. I don't work today. I have no appointments today, and I have set aside all housework and projects. I said, no more of you. You are setting aside. I am going shop hopping. So I am driving to one store in Rhode Island and hopefully working my way back. The store in Rhode Island is not open until 11 a.m. I have at least another hour of driving, so I should get there just before 10:45. But that gives me enough time. A, I'm hoping they open early. They may not. But B, it gives me enough time to find a real place for breakfast, because all I had for breakfast was a couple of cheese sticks and some stale pretzels, because I just grabbed things from the pantry on my way out the door. So not a very good breakfast. So hopefully find some real food and real food, and maybe they're open early, and then I'll work my way back into Connecticut and go from there. So I'm driving, and I thought, why not just do a little check-in while I'm driving, because I'm just driving in a straight line in almost no traffic, so I've got cruise control on, and yeah, that's it. I'll talk to you soon. And we're on the road again. Hi. Okay, but I don't need food in my teeth. I had to eat a little snack because I was hungry, but I got to the first shop hop store, which was the So-Op, like co-op, but So-Op in North Kingstown. Might be pronounced North Kingston, I'm not positive. Rhode Island. I loved it there. Loved it. It was not a huge store, but none of these stores are ever ginormous. It was beyond lovely. I was the first shopper of the day because I stopped for breakfast, and then I arrived at 11:01 when they opened, and it was perfect. It was absolutely perfect. They had a small section of knit fabric, so when she directed me over to where the rack of sail bolts was right next to the knits, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go over there, because I always like to check out sales, trying to stay a little frugal, because I've got lots of shops I want to buy from. I want to support all the shops. So I went towards the sale fabric, but I also wanted to check out the knits, because not every shop has knits. And I was making myself new pajamas, and I like knits for pajamas. So I found a knit that I really liked the feel of, as well as the pattern, and I think it's going to make a really cute pajama top, or pajama shorts. I think I bought enough fabric for both pajama top, pajama bottoms. And then while she was cutting, I was like, oh, let me just look at what else you have. And then they had a whole section of Liberty cottons, and I was like, oh, you're holding out on me, you have Liberty? So I was like, okay, restrain yourself, Natasha, restrain yourself. Remember, you have more stores to visit. You cannot buy everything in the first store. So I just said, okay, Natasha, pick one. So I picked one, just one. I picked one Liberty cotton, and I just bought 1 yard. I could have bought 2 cottons and just bought half a yard, but no, I picked 1 cotton, I picked 1 yard. It's not a very far store. Not saying I'm gonna schlep the 2.5 hours or 3 hours from my house to come up here again, but one of my good friends' daughters goes to school up here. Her university is up here. So I could just say, hey, go into that store, buy me all the Liberty, here's your cash. I could just say, 1 yard, all the Liberty, here's some money. I could send her on a job. Anyways, I did that. I bought 1 yard of Liberty, and then while she was cutting that, I said, oh, well, Saturday is jelly roll day. Let me just look at your jelly rolls. And I wasn't expecting to also find a jelly roll that would be perfect, but I did. And so I bought a jelly roll, and I have no regrets. Everything was perfect. It was just a delightful store. I bought 3 things, so I have no idea if I'm going to buy anything else at any of these other stores, because I already got everything I want. I got Liberty, I got knit, I got jelly roll. I really have nothing else on my wish list for the rest of the day, but here I am off to the next store. And the next store, I'm in Groton, and I'm heading to That's So Debbie. So off I go. That's So Debbie was so amazing because, I went there last year, and it was a cute store. They do a lot of long arming. They've got huge long arm machines set up. They do a lot of classes, a lot of embroidery work, and it's a lovely store. Not a huge fabric selection, but a lovely store. And I remembered from last year having a little bit of a hard time finding a fabric that I really wanted so I could purchase something to support the store. So when I got there, I'm like, all right, let me go walk around. Let me go check their holiday section. Maybe I'll find something Halloween-y because I love Halloween. And as I exited the holiday area and I went into towards the boutique area, because I'm like, I've got plenty of boutiques. I don't need boutiques, but let me just walk around because that's where they have the whatever. So I just like, let me go look. They had something that they do specially because the I don't know if it's Debbie herself, her son-in-law makes these things, and they are basically portable ironing boards. You know, it's like wooden structures wrapped in batting and fabric. So you can put them, and they're raised. They've got little platforms on the bottom, little raised structures. And so I see the stack of the wooden platforms, and I'm like, oh my gosh, do I need to buy my own? I mean, it's a pain in the butt to have to like wrap them, but I totally need one because I'm constantly putting like stacking cutting boards on top of my cutting mat, you know, like wooden cutting boards from IKEA, and then putting my wool mat on top of that so the heat doesn't go down to my cutting mat, so I can iron without having to like get up and down and walk around, because my sewing space I'm in, you know, I'm kind of cramped into a corner. I don't have I don't have an ironing table conveniently placed. So this is what I have to do. This is the compromise I have to make. I would love to have like one physical structure, and I've tried other, you know, heat resistance, heat protective things, and I haven't been able to find something that's like the right size. And so I've been stacking wooden cutting boards, and that's been my best solution. It's heavy, it's awkward, and here's something that's raised, so it gets it off the cutting mat. It's wooden, so I don't have that heat distribution problem. So I'm thinking, oh my gosh, they've solved my problem. And then I turned, and they had 5 that were already cut, like covered in the batting and fabric. And I was just like, they have what I need. I didn't know I needed it, or I didn't know I was going to be able to find it. It wasn't on my shopping list because it's like a handmade item. It's not, you know, mass produced. Like they make it themselves at this store. And I picked a fabric that I thought, I like this fabric. I'm buying this. So I just picked it up. I walked to the counter. So I was in the store for like 5 minutes. It was so fast. She's like, that's all you need? I'm like, I told her, I said, I'm going to each store and I'm just letting my gut tell me what to get, because I want to support every single store I go into. But, you know, I've got other stores to shop hop too. So I saw this. I think it's brilliant. And I ended up talking to the wife of the guy, so the daughter of, I think, Debbie. And she's like, yeah, my husband made me one that I took to retreat, and everyone was like going crazy. And my mother's like, I need 12 of these in my store ASAP. And I'm like, I agree. This is brilliant. You had a brilliant idea. Your husband and you making this together, brilliant. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm so excited to take it home and use it. She's like, do you need a receipt? I'm like, I'm not returning it, so I don't need a receipt. I need nothing. I just need the board in my car. Thank you so much. I'm so excited. Great idea. I hope you have lots of success with this, because brilliant idea. I'm excited. So now I'm on my way to Colchester Fabrics. Last year when I went to Colchester Mills, that's Colchester Mills Fabrics, I think. So Colchester Mills and Fabrics, whatever it is. It's like one of the bigger of the stores, because I think they have like half a room that's just basically K Facet Collective Fabrics. I got in a lot of trouble, not trouble, but I bought a lot of fabric here last year. Last time I went, I bought a lot of fabric. So I'm going to have to try to hold myself back. But if they had really good sales like they did last year, I might be in trouble again. But again, I don't need much. I have just recently been, you know, cleaning up my stash and refolding things and organizing things and really taking stock of what I have. So theoretically, I've been shopping my stash of late. I know what I have. I know potentially where the holes in my collection are. So I shouldn't be buying anything I already have. I shouldn't be buying duplicates. I shouldn't theoretically be buying anything I don't need. So hopefully I'll be making good choices. I hope. But it's a lovely store that I really love. And it's the store that basically made me want to join the shop hop in the beginning 2 years ago. So that's where I'm going next. And I am on my way to pick up my son from school. So I only got 3 stores done, but they were the stores that were the farthest, well, let's say the farthest east for the closest to the coast, east and coastal for today. So I'm leaving Colchester Mill, which is where I just was. I have an hour and 10-minute drive to get to my son, and his school day ends in an hour. So I'm going to be about 8 to 10 minutes late picking him up, which stinks. That's all I can hope for. So I am on my way, heading down, and it was delightful. Colchester Mill was great. I walked in, and the woman in front of me She was just kind of like confused, and she was sort of standing at the counter because she didn't know what to do. And I was like, kind of like, I need to check in. And so the woman asked me, "Oh, are you checking in for the shop hop?" And I said yes. And then the woman who was kind of in front of me, she's like, "Oh, are we supposed to do that?" And she's like, "Oh, did you want to check in?" And she's like, "I guess so." So she's like, "Well, let me take care." I'm like, "Yeah, you're here first. You should go first." And so she got to spin the wheel first, and she won the big prize on the wheel, which meant then they erased it because it's like a dry erase board wheel. And I was like, darn it, she won the big prize, but I was happy for her. So then I got to spin the wheel, and something just hit the windshield, like a little rock. My prize was actually a very good prize. I won a free wide back from the basket. So they had like 5 or 6 maybe wide backs set aside, bagged up, pre-cut wide backs, and they were an assortment of cut sizes. I think the smallest being 1.5 yards and the largest being 3 yards, and the fabrics, an assortment of fabrics. I ended up choosing one that was 3 yards, partially because I liked the fabric the most. It was between that one and one that was 1.5 yards, fabric wise, and I ended up going for the one that was 3 yards. Wide back is 108 inches wide, so obviously the 1.5 yards was still lots of fabric, and I could have gone either way fabric wise, but I think I can do more with this fabric, whether I use it as a quilt backing or if I use it as garment fabric, because often wide back fabric is really useful in garment making. And I thought, this could be really good for, I have these patterns for like overalls and stuff, and I've been thinking this could be really good, and I think the fabric I chose is going to make really cute overalls. So, and I just cut out a pattern for overalls maybe within the last 2 weeks, sometime in the month of September, sometime this past month. I have recently cut out a pattern for overalls, and I've been like, oh, I don't know what fabric I'm going to use, and I think this specific wide back will make them nice and light. And even if they're just a toile, even if they're just like let's try them out, I still think it'll be a really good fabric, because obviously it's a quilt backing fabric, so it's not a bottom weight fabric. They'll be lightweight, even if I just wear them around the house, because they're not heavyweight fabric. It'll be really good for me to get that pattern tested for my body and get the right proportions and measurements and make sure it works. So I got that, and then I should still have plenty of fabric for other things too. So I liked that fabric. That was my freebie. And then I hit the sales because I had, like I said, limited time. I had to go pick up my son from school. I hit the sales area, and I picked up 2 notions I wanted on my way to the sales area. They have this area where it's end of bolts, where you have to finish whatever the bolt is. So it could be anywhere from like 1/2 yard to 2 yards. I think the biggest end of bolt cut is like 2 1/8 or 2 1/4, something like that. But if you pick it up, you're saying, I am buying this whole piece, whatever it may be. So if you bring it to the counter, they're not cutting it. You are buying that whole piece. So I did. I picked up, I think, 5 end of bolts, but it's a discounted price, so you're getting it for a cheaper price also, like a very discounted price. And I found some fabrics that 2 of them I've had in the past, but I've had them in like very small quantities, or I've had them and I've used them and I'm like, oh, I wish I had more of that fabric. And 2 of them I've had them like, but in different colorways. So I'm like, ooh, I would like that in those colorways. And then I think I bought 6, and then 2 of them I haven't had at all, if I remember correctly. So that was fun. And yeah, so that's everything. It took a little while to check out. I think the gentleman who was helping me check out, his computer was going a little slow, and I kept looking at the clock like, I gotta go. He was like, you didn't even check out the other room. I'm like, I know, but the other room is full of temptations, and I'm on a time frame. Because the other room is where I told you the K Facet Collective room is. But like, it's full of like new samples. I'm like, nope, do not tempt me, Satan. I cannot go in that other room. I know it's beautiful. I know it's wonderful, but I can't buy anything. I have limited budget because I'm spreading it around to the other stores, and I'm on limited time, and I've picked up some good things. And 3 of the fabrics, by the way, from the Finish the Bolt, were K Facet Collective fabrics, so it's not like I didn't indulge my K Facet Collective love while I was there. Anyways, it was a good day. It was a good shopping day. I still feel very successful, and I got that whole big 3-yard wide back for free, so that was totally worth it. And it was a lovely shopping day. All right, you've been waiting long enough, or I've been waiting long enough to tell you, because it's already Saturday morning. It's already 8:30 on Saturday morning, and I've already been up for an hour and a half sewing. So let's talk, because I want to use something that I bought already. So the first place I stopped, should we show you the magazine? Have we seen this already? I think we've seen this, just in case. The All New England Shop Hop. My goal this year, if I haven't already said it, is to try to get to every store in Connecticut. I live in Connecticut. My goal this year is to get to every store in Connecticut, because I didn't get to everyone in Connecticut last year. Last year, my goal was to do the Western region since I was going up to Vermont to visit my son anyways. So I did the Western regions last year. So this year, my goal is every store in Connecticut. That being said, I also wanted to see Rhode Island because I didn't do any Rhode Island stores last year. So I started Thursday morning with the Sew-Op in New Kingston. Yeah, New Kingston is how I've been told it's pronounced, Rhode Island, where I purchased, okay, so my free pattern, because you get a free pattern, a free block pattern in every store. So I got a quick one. I don't know if I'm allowed to show you the patterns. I don't know, they're free, but I wanted you to see the address. So the Sew-Op, New Kingston, you can screenshot, pause, whatever you need to do for that. And for making a purchase, I got a ruler, a little tape measure. I haven't even opened it. Little bag. I thought this was cute. A little branded tape measure. Is it taped? Is the tape measure taped? How cute is that? The Sew-Op. And I started with the knits. I think I told you this in my previous chatty chat. So I was making pajamas, and look at this. I thought that was fitting since it's a coastal town. I went with the fish print. See how the fish swimming? And it is so soft. Oh my gosh. It is like delicious, delicious fabric. It is by, let's see, AGF Enchanted Voyage. Just reading the selvage as much as I can. Enchanted Voyage, Maureen, Cracknell, Knits, Saltwater Stream Fade. Feel the difference. AGF. We Are Fabrics. AGF Enchanted Voyage. That's all I can see. So those are all the words I see on the selvage. If you want to see it or know what this fabric feels like, you can look those up and feel it for yourself because it is divine. And I think those will make really good pajamas, like a pajama shirt and shorts. I think it'll be really good. I got 2.5 yards. Yeah, 2.5 yards. And I think it's a 60-inch width. So I think that'll be good. Then I saw the Liberty fabrics. And I said I was only going to buy myself 1 yard. So I went with a really fun print. I went with a really fun print of Liberty. And it has like the Liberty store on it. Because I'm obsessed with Liberty, obviously. But also, I mean, the ditzy floral. How can you go wrong? I don't know what I'm making with it. But I bought it because it's Liberty and I love it. I'm a little cliche. I love my Liberty. So I got that. And then I was on the hunt for a good jelly roll. Like that day, I was just like, today I'm looking for a jelly roll. I didn't think I was going to find it in the first store, but I did. Today is jelly roll day. Today, Saturday, is jelly roll day. And this is what I want to open, is this jelly roll, because I want to use it today on jelly roll day. It is a Moda jelly roll, the Lookout, Jen Kingwell Designs. That's it. I haven't opened it. Should we open it? Why not? But I was loving the colors I was seeing. I don't know this designer, the Lookout, but I love Moda in general. I mean, who doesn't? Who doesn't love Moda? I don't know, maybe someone. But I was really just digging on the patterns, and I was looking for something modern because I've got lots of florals. I mean, I do have a lot of K Facet Collective. If you've been here a minute, you know I've got a lot of K Facet Collective. But I'm making, specifically, I wanted to make something for my sister-in-law, and she's much more modern, I think. And so I was looking for something not as quirky as Cafe, but still modern like Cafe. And I needed so I was just looking for something that I thought she might vibe with. And I think this gives me the geometry, the modern geometry. Oh, those are fun florals. Okay, I'm not going to lie. Those are fun florals. Those are the fun kind of florals. It's like Cafe adjacent. That's what I'm going to say. It's like Cafe adjacent. It's got that modern fun quirk to it. I think this is going to be fun to play with. And I picked a really easy jelly roll quilt pattern to go with it. I've got like a whole book of jelly roll quilts, so you don't just have to do like jelly roll race. Though this would probably be good in a jelly roll race, I'm not going to lie. But I picked a pattern for my jelly roll quilt today that I think will lend itself to these. I think. I just opened them. So I got to lay it out and find out if that's the pattern I'm going to go with, or if I'm going to pick something else, or if I'm just going to do a jelly roll race, because these are pretty good. These might be pretty good in a jelly roll race, truth be told. All right. Next store was Sew Debbie in Groton. So here's the Sew Debbie card. And it's a smaller store. I mean, like, physically it's pretty big, but they've got like 2 giant long arms in one room. And it's like a long, skinny house, kind of like I don't know that it was ever a house, but you know, like the way it was built, it's like multiple rooms. That's why I kind of call it a house. And it's I remember from last year, it didn't stock the kind of fabrics that like I love. It's got a great fabric selection, but it didn't really like speak to my personal tastes. And so I was like, okay, but they've got lots of notions, they've got lots of pre-made kits, they've got some upholstery fabric, so let me just go in and look and see. But again, it's not a huge fabric selection because it's like embroidery, notions, long arm quilting. So all that takes up space. So really nice people, totally worth going, totally worth looking, even if it's not as modern as like what I tend to go for. It doesn't have like K Facet, it doesn't have Tula Pink, it doesn't have like some of the designers I tend to go for, it doesn't have Ruby Star. So some of the people that I tend to gravitate towards, it doesn't carry. Still really good stuff. And that's when I found the ironing board. Now this, oh, I'm so excited. I got they had two sizes. I got the big one. And this is what I mean by the raised platform. Isn't that just genius? So I can stick this Mamma Jamma on top of my cutting board, and I don't have to worry about the heat transfer because it's got this nice, air circulation, moving around, and I don't have to worry. That's so Debbie. And I know this was cute fabric because it's like the tops of thread spools, I don't care. I wasn't going to find fabric because they don't really carry fabric that I love. I wasn't going to find a fabric covered board that was going to speak my language. You know what I mean? So I was just looking for something fun, and I thought this was fun with all the thread spools. It's very on brand for sewing. Let's just go with that. And I can recover it someday if I want to, but I'm probably not going to because who cares? It's an ironing board. But I just think it's brilliant. Just brilliant. Good on them for making it, for going through it. I know it's an idea that exists in the world. I don't think they're the first people to come up with the idea, but who cares? They did the work. They did the work. I'm so happy. I'm so happy they did the work and they sold it and I bought it and I'm happy. I'm using it today for my jelly roll, whatever. And that was it from So Debbie. Oh, I also got a coupon if I come back for 25%. It's a long drive. So I love you, So Debbie, but I'm probably not coming back because it's a long drive. Then my next stop was Colchester because I love Colchester. It's a long drive also. And I only go like once a year because it's a long drive. But I shop. I spun the wheel and I got a free, from the basket, pre-cut wide back. This was the wide back I chose. 3 yards. So it's basically a perfect square of 108 by 108. This was the fabric. They had this in like a grayscale, like the same pattern, but like just black, white, gray instead of blue, gray, black, basically. But it was 1.5 yards, and I thought I could probably get away with making clothes out of that, but I think I'm going to use it for pattern testing, and I could get multiple garments. Like I could pattern test my overalls that I wanted to do, and I could probably do more than just the overalls. I could do pants. I might even be able to do it like a dress because it's such a large amount of fabric. So I felt like I could get more use out of the 3 yards, and I like the fabric, so it could be theoretically wearable. Like I could wear it around the house and be comfortable because it's good quality fabric. So how cool is that for free? Free. Who doesn't love free? And then I was on a time frame. So on my way, I knew they had end of bolts. So on my way to the end of bolts, I stopped by like their notions, and they had a basket of free patterns because I love free. So I picked up the big charmer quilt pattern. I've seen this before, but just have it, printed out makes it easier. And I think I even have this pattern somewhere because I have a bunch of charms. Like I have a bunch of like 10-inch, 10-inch and 5-inch and things like that. And I've bought pre-cuts in the past. Sometimes it's the only way I can get a certain collection, or it's the only way I want to invest money into a certain collection. And then, excuse me, didn't mean to kick you. And then I think I'm going to use it, and then I don't use it, and then I have them sitting around, and I'm like, what am I going to do? And I'm like, I'll just make a blanket, but then I can't decide which blanket which quilt I'm going to make, how I'm going to use the fabric. So I think I have some of these like PDFs, but sometimes I don't want to like go to the screen. So I thought, you know what, it's printed out already, why not? And their free pattern was Colchester Mill, and it was attached to their upcoming classes. And a coupon if I come back. But again, they're really far away, so I love you, but I'm probably not coming back. Just full disclosure, I'm probably not coming back because you're really far away. And then notions I picked up. I lost my 28 millimeter rule, like nice cutting rotary cutter. So I've been using my Dollar Tree one, which is fine, but like the blades go really fast on Dollar Tree rotaries, and Dollar Tree hasn't been carrying them. So they're not as easy to just replace, and you can't replace the blades on the Dollar Tree rotaries. So I'm like, I guess I have to buy a new 28 mil rotary until I'm sure I'm going to find it. Now that I've bought a new one, I'm going to find my 28 millimeter rotary cutter, but that's the way it goes. So I'll probably have like 2 or 3 now that I bought a new one. And I bought another purple thing because I keep one of these over by my other sewing machine, and it's nice to have one at each sewing machine, just like my stiletto, my Vianney stiletto. I bought a second. I have two of these now because I like to keep one at each sewing machine. And sometimes you're using, like if I'm working with vinyl, I tend to work with vinyl on my Juki more than on my Pfaff. So I keep my purple thing next to my Juki because sometimes you don't want to use your stiletto on vinyl because you could puncture a hole in it. So you use your purple thing instead. And so I'm like, you know what? I could use a second purple thing. It's $4. So I bought a second purple thing. Here's the fabrics. So these are all end of bolts. Okay. So the first three are all K Facet Collective end of bolts. 1, 2, 3. This one's a little piece. This fabric I had a fat quarter of in a slightly lighter color pink, and I loved it. And when I saw it in this red, and I was like, yes, I loved those houses. So I think it was a big cut, but I'm like, nope, it's an end of bolt. I got to take it. This fabric I also had as a fat quarter, and I was like, yeah, I'm taking it because I love me my Star Wars. And this fabric you might recognize if you watched my quilt I did over the summertime, the quilt I made for the Festival of Quilts, because I used, this was my fabric for all my sashing, and I used like every bit of that. I think I have like a couple of small pieces left. And I think when I saw it on the end of bolt, I'm like, oh, it's so sentimental to me. I felt like I had to rescue it. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I think it's just so sentimental to me now that I had to take it. So that's everything I got. And I hope to try to get to at least one more store. Hopefully the stores I didn't get to on this little quick trip up in Orange, Connecticut, and possibly Guilford, Connecticut this week, because those stores are not on the route that I'm taking on the 30th when I go with my friend up to Massachusetts, because we're doing like a little Massachusetts day and then doing a bunch of the northwestern Connecticut stores together. So yeah, we'll see what happens and I'll keep you posted. Thanks. Hello from the road again. It is Wednesday, the 24th of September. Shana Tova, or Happy New Year. It is, can I take these off? Is it too bright? Happy Rosh Hashanah, Happy New Year. It's a little bright, so I'm going to keep this on. My eyes are a little sensitive between allergies and everything else. I still need a little protection from the sunshine. It is overcast, a little rainy, but the sun is very bright against those clouds, so I am back on the shop hop. Because it is Rosh Hashanah, the preschool I go to after my family classes is closed because I teach at a preschool that is a Jewish preschool, and being Rosh Hashanah, they are closed. So I had extra time today to take advantage of some shop hopping. And I might actually get to shop hop tomorrow as well. I'm not sure if I will, because my dentist appointment that I have tomorrow was just canceled. So I might get to go twice this week. Whew. Surprise, surprise. But anyways, I am going to try to do the 2 stores that I did not get to when I went last week, when I was hoping to get to 5 stores and I only got to 3 because traffic, etc. So I'm on my way now to Guilford, which is where Kate's So Modern is. It is one of my favorite stores. It's a small little store, but it is packed full of some of my favorite fabrics. And the traffic is horrendous. I am going very slow. I was supposed to be there by now, based on the time estimate. What it should have taken me from the time I left home, or the time I left work, based on normal non-traffic conditions, I should have been there 15 minutes ago. And according to the GPS, I am still 10 minutes away. So an extra 25 minutes, all said and done, on the road today. So I'm tired, but it's worth it, right? So it's one of my favorite little stores, and I'm looking forward to going. So I will tell you all about Kate So Modern and what I pick up when I am done. That's it. See ya. Okay, I think I've got it working again. A moment ago, it would not record. So we are now leaving actually the second store because, like I said, it wouldn't record a moment ago. We're cutting it close to being able to pick up the kid from school because traffic. What else is new, right? Hopefully I get there on time. All right, so the first store, Kate So Modern. I love it so much, and I love Kate. She's just a breath of fresh air. And she was in the store today, so as soon as I walked in and I saw her, I was just like, hi, how are you? And she doesn't remember my name, but she recognizes faces. And she's like, oh, welcome back. How are you? It's been a long time. I'm like, yes, it has. It's great to be back. Shop hop. She's like, are you shop hopping? Yada, yada. So I said, yes, I'm happy to be shop hopping. Let's get the sticker in the book, get that checked off the to-do list. And then from there, we were chatting and I said, I always go for the pre-cut bin because I know you sneak in your old stash. And she was like, yeah, I do. And I'm like, you have good things in your stash. And she was saying that, she opened the store 10 years ago to try to help herself from keeping a stash. That's like the whole point of her opening of a fabric store, was to try to keep herself from hoarding fabric and being a dragon with her fabric, which I totally respect. And I've actually considered opening a fabric store because I feel like sometimes my basement could be a fabric store. And yeah, it's I get it. But she will have these pre-cuts, like her fat quarters, her half yards, her 1 yard cuts. And in addition to being, cutoffs from current collections in the store, they will be from her stash, things from years ago that are out of print and highly desirable fabrics, and she'll sneak them in, and she doesn't charge any more for them. They'll actually be discounted to a certain point, and you'll just find them, and they're gems. They are just beautiful, beautiful gems, and I have scored some amazing fabric that way. Sometimes she will take the time and put them up on Etsy, because some fabrics are going for a lot of money, and she'll put them up and, get a lot of money for them, but sometimes she'll just sneak them into the pre-cuts. So I always go through the bins, and I did find a couple of out of print Anna Maria Horner fabrics, and I snatched those. And they were in the half yard cut bin. So they were buy 3, get 1 free. And the half yards were going for $6 a half yard. So still a discounted price for a half yard cut, and I was happy. And then in addition to that, I bought some Figo space dye. I ended up buying a very large cut, almost 4 yards. I finished a bolt on a Figo space dye fabric because I was originally thinking Figo space dye fabric is very thin, so it's deceptive. When I looked at the bolt, I thought it was going to be like 2.5 yards on the bolt, and it was closer to 4 yards. Like I said, it's very deceptive. And originally I was thinking of just making one of these tops like that I'm wearing right now, which is a Hansi top from Seamork. It's a free pattern from Seamork, and it's a very comfortable, very easy to sew t-shirt, basically, that is great for cotton wovens. And so originally that's what I was thinking for this fabric. But now that I have so much more of it, I'm like, ooh, maybe I should do something different with it. Or maybe I'll still do a top and then something else with the extra fabric. I don't know. To be determined, TBD. But I did purchase it as apparel fabric. And she actually keeps it in her apparel fabric section because it's just that kind of, well, it's like lawn, like cotton lawn. It's that lighter, a little bit drapier style of cotton woven versus quilting cotton. That's all. It has more drape. So, and then in her sale section, there was an offcut of a K Facet Collective wide back, the onion print, the black and white onion rings that I bought. Sorry if my camera is going all over the place. I'm doing back roads, trying to get towards my son, getting back to the other freeway between two, like a parkway and an interstate. And I'm doing back roads between the two because his school's closer to the parkway, and the store I was at was closer to the interstate. So back roads between the two. Anyways, what else can I say? Then so that was Kate So Modern. Perfect. Then I made a quick stop at Bishop's Orchards, which is like a farm stand, like grocery store farm stand. I wanted to pick up fresh apples because it's Rosh Hashanah, and we used up all our apples last night for our apples and honey, and I was like, we're out of apples. And I'm at a farm stand, or it's like Kate So Modern is across from a really great farm stand because they have their own orchards, and it's in the name, Bishop's Orchards. So they have their own apple trees, and I wanted to pick up fresh apples, and I know they have really good apples, so I picked up apples to take home. Even though we do have more honey, we have plenty of honey, we also have caramel dip, and I love apples and caramel, so I'm probably gonna have that as a treat later, and if my son wants some, I'll share, but I'm just telling you, I will be having some apples and caramel later on. I bought enough. I bought like 4 big juicy apples, so there's plenty to share with my family. I'm not hoarding the apples just for myself, making sure everyone knows I'm a kind, generous person. In addition to that, after I stopped there, on my way to, close to home, is that the second shop hop quilt store? So I think it's close to home. They're like a small franchise store here in Connecticut. There's 3 locations, and they are a combination fabric store / draperies, And I say draperies like this because they do like the kind of draperies where you can get like blinds fitted, you know, like Hunter Douglas, that kind of thing. Draperies and sewing machines. And they sell lots of sewing machines, like lots of sewing machines, and lots of different brands. Now, because I knew this about, after doing the shop hop last year, and I knew this about, yeah, Close to Home, that's the name. I'm pretty, like 99% sure that's the name of the store. Knowing this about this fabric store for the shop hop, that that's the kind of store it is, I was going in with the intention of looking specifically for sewing machine feet and or bobbins for my Juki, because I do not have a Juki store near me. I had purchased my Juki online from a store out in Washington, the state, like on the other side of the country. And I've purchased a couple of machine feet through WowWack online. And so I have a couple of feet, but purchasing things from WowWack is always challenging and confusing because they don't have the same kind of numbering system. So Close to Home. So I went in with that intention because I knew they carried Juki, I knew they carried machine feet, and I hoped they carried bobbins. And I'm happy to say they carry both. I was able to purchase a 1/4 inch machine foot for my Juki. So the Juki that I have came with, I have the TL2000. In the store they carry the TL2010, which is like the next newer model to the 2000. So it's basically the same. I can't really remember what's different about it. It's practically the same machine. I think it's just newer. I'm sure there's like one difference. I just couldn't tell you what the difference is between the 2000 and the 2010. Whatever it is, it's practically the same machine. Anyways, that's the one they carry in the store, the 2010. So the bobbins are the same, the machine feet are the same. So I was able to buy bobbins, and I was able to buy a 1/4 inch foot, because when I bought my 2000, my TL2000, it came with a narrow foot, which is awesome because I didn't have to buy like a separate like zipper foot, because the narrow foot is narrow enough that I can put on zippers, no problem. But it's when I'm doing piecing, like quilting piecing, I have to like pay a lot of attention to like where the 1/4 inch mark is on the plate, on the base plate, and then I usually end up using my magnetic guide to help me, and it's just like multiple steps that are a pain in the neck. And when I piece on my faff, I really love using my 1/4 inch foot, and I've been thinking, I don't often piece on my Juki, I more often piece on my faff, but it sure would be nice for the times where I'm on my Juki, because you know I go back and forth between machines. On the times where I'm on my Juki, it sure would be nice to have a 1/4 inch foot. So I got a 1/4 inch foot. Hello from the road on a rainy, rainy day. It is Thursday, the 25th of September, and I am back on the road, and back on the road to shop hop. So I spoke with you briefly yesterday, and it is rainy, rainy, rainy right now, but I had a small opening, a small window of time in my schedule today, so I am heading up to Yankee Quilter in Seymour, Connecticut, because it is not super duper far from my son's school, and it's more convenient for me to go to a store like that I can then get to my son's school for pickup. Just do one shop hop and then pick them up. So I'm on my way there, and I hope to be finding. That's actually the store where I bought my sewing machine. I don't really need anything. Traffic. I really don't need anything from my sewing machine today. Like I don't need any bobbins. I don't need any feet. I'm very well stocked. It's a very small fabric store. Actually, last year they were unable to participate in the shop hop because in the month of August there was a horrible flood. Like once every 100 years kind of flood, where the river, we had so much rain like we're having today, but much worse, flash flooding in August of last year. The river overflowed the banks, and their store, they lost their store. So a ton of their fabrics were destroyed, machines were destroyed. I mean, just the whole store was toast. And they reopened, I want to say in April of this year, maybe. Anyways, I've been there a couple times since they reopened, and I love supporting them because I love supporting them. Like I said, they are the people I get all my faff stuff from. I love my faff sewing machine, and they are my faff dealer, and they're also my repairman for all my things, pretty much everything I need repaired. the repairman there is the best. The owner and her husband, they do everything in-house. So when my featherweight needs repair, they do it. When my what did I say? My overlocker, what's it called? It's a baby lock, but from the like million years ago baby lock. I think it's like from the 60s or 70s baby lock. They got that all tuned up and going for me. I used that this morning, as a matter of fact. So I trust them with my machines. I trust them with everything. So, but like I said, because they lost all their inventory in the flood last year, they've been rebuilding their inventory, but they don't have a huge fabric selection. Like, they don't have back catalogs of fabric. They have a lot of new stuff, but it's still kind of a sparse selection of fabric. So I know I could probably get some Moda Grunge there. I could get some Kona Solids if I needed. They usually have some Tilda, but other than that, they carry Moda in general, so I could get some different Moda fabrics if I wanted. But they don't carry a lot of other, like they have some Cafe, they have some Tula, but they don't carry a ton of Ruby Star. They don't carry a ton of the stuff that I love, but it's okay. It's okay. I will see what I can find. I don't know that I need anything specific. When I was sewing this morning, I realized that some of my pins are getting a little beat up, so I could theoretically buy new pins. Like, that would be a good thing for my is that haberdashery? I don't even know. That's not haberdashery. That's just supplies. So maybe I'll get pins. But I do try to support every store, but I do try to like buy things that I actually need in my sewing room and not just excess. But we will see what I get, and I'll tell you when I'm done. Bye. Is it possible that it's raining even harder now? I think it might be. Okay, back on the road. We have left the Yankee Quilter, and as promised, it was delightful. And as promised, the fabric selection was a little slim, but happy to say they had my pins. They had my pink magic pins, which I love, and some of them, so I don't know about you, but I sew over my pins. Not all of my pins, but I do sew over my incredibly thin, incredibly long pink magic pins. And that's one of the reasons why I use my pink magic pins, is because they are incredibly thin and incredibly long. I go slowly, so my needle bumps over them and does not get hurt. No one gets hurt. But a couple of my pins over time, because they are incredibly thin, have gotten a little bent, a little worse for wear over time, which is why I needed some new ones. So I got another pack of my pink magic pins, happily, and I checked out their pre-cut yards. They often, though not always, they often have yards for $8, which are pre-cuts, and they're usually ends of bolts, or if they have too much of something, they'll cut $8 yards, and it's buy 3 get 1 free. So I always check them out. Actually, recently, like the last 2 times I've gone, they have not had this section, this $8 yard section, and I just assumed they were not bringing it back after the flood. They had always had it before the flood. I wasn't sure they were going to bring it back after the flood, because traditionally it had been leftover past collection fabrics, but they brought it back and it was there, and I was like, yay, the $8 yards are back. So I was lucky enough to get a yard of plain black, which I need because I have a very small like scrap cut of black that I'm using for my my Craftivist quilt FPP this month. I only have one word. It's actually just 3 letters, but I'm kind of like stressed out over making those 3 letters fit out of my one scrap piece of solid black. So I was like, woohoo, solid black, which you'd be surprised can sometimes be hard, because Halloween is coming. People have been buying up all the solid black, but they had it, plenty of it. So I got a 1 yard cut of solid black, 2 1 yard cuts of some Moda Grunge. Told you they'd have Moda Grunge. And then I got a 1 yard cut of a older Anna Maria Horner, because I just am a sucker for Anna Maria Horner, and they only had 1 yard cut. So I took it. I was like, well, it's buy 3 get 1 free, so one of these is free, and I was happy. So those are the things I purchased, and I used the restroom. I got some snacks. I got my free pattern. So all is well. I'm probably going to eat my snacks now as I drive to pick up my son from school. I should be there nice and early, even with this rain, but there really was nothing else for me to look at or purchase at the store, so I said better for me to get to the school early instead of being stressed out, especially with all the rain on the road. I don't need, you know, something to go wrong while I'm driving. So off I go. Here I am. So I will probably film, I don't know, tomorrow or the next day and show you everything I purchased yesterday and today across the 3 stores, the Kate So Modern, the Close to Home, and Yankee Quilter, and do a wrap up of all the stores. And then on Tuesday, I'm going up to Massachusetts with my friend, doing as many stores. I think I'm going to try to hit 5 stores with her on Tuesday, and then I'm going to wrap up the month of September. And hopefully all of these together will be one video. I'm not sure how much of this talking is making it into the video, but all of that will be, you know, part 1 of the shop hop for the all New England shop hop. Hey, it's Friday. I'm home because it is picture day at my preschool, which is lucky for me because they cancel their specials. It's lucky for me because I'm home because our internet and our phone was taken down by a branch. So I get to be home waiting for the repairman who gave us, sent my husband a text message because he's out on the road, saying that they'd be here before 8:30, and it's 8:26. So I've been upstairs waiting, and I'm like, nope, a watched pot never boils, so I better come down and do something because there's a better chance of him showing up if I'm just doing something, right? So fingers crossed I get interrupted. Would you like to see what I bought on my shop hops? So the first stop, if you remember, on Wednesday was Kate's So Modern. So here is my shop hop card from Kate's So Modern. And while I was there, I got 4 half yards. So those were buy 3, get 1 free. So I picked up... So these just bring such light, such joy to my heart. And they actually had a couple of cuts of these. These are the Anna Maria Horner fabrics from a couple of seasons ago. So I got one in this colorway, and I think they had actually 2 of these. So I could have gotten a whole yard. But I was like, nope, just going to take 1 of each. This one and this colorway. Which line were they from? Let's see, does it still say on the... This one, she was still with Free Spirit. She's gone off and started her own. It's from Sundials is the name of the pattern, but which collection was it? Field Study, maybe? Does that sound right? But it's an older collection. Sundials, aren't they so pretty? Oh, so pretty. And then I picked up this one. This is... This is... Who's this? Can I see who this is? Martha Negley for Rowan. Puffball. I thought that was really pretty too. If you don't know me, I love daisies. I love, making wishes. So I just thought that was fantastic. And then it was buy 3, get 1 free. And they snuck in a canvas into those half yard cuts. So I had to get it. And it was very, very, I guess, childlike as far as canvases go. But I didn't care because I think that's going to make a great, boxy bag or something maybe. I'm not sure what I'm going to make out of it. But how cute are those little creatures on that canvas? And it is, what is it? Let's see what this collection is. Mustarucka. That's a fun name, Mustarucka. And truffle. Oh, it's coca. Of course it's coca. I love coca. See, I felt it and I just knew. I knew I loved it. And then I got a wide back offcut of onion ring. Okay, Facet Collective. If you know, you know. Let's see. It's an offcut. It is 34 inches long. Not bad. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I love ends of bolts. Said everything. Oh no, I got my gigantic, almost 4 yards. I think it was like 3 3/4 or 3 2/3 of my Figo Space Dye. I think that's a good color for me. If you don't agree, I don't care. I like it. So I was definitely thinking a top to start, but now that I have so much yardage, it might become more. Who knows? Who knows? But it's got to get pre-washed. Either way, it's going to be clothing, so it's got to get pre-washed. So that was Kate So Modern. Then I went to Close to Home. That was my next stop. That's the block from Close to Home. And like I said, Close to Home is a mini franchise. So I don't know if franchise is the right word, but they've got 3 stores. 3 stores in Connecticut. So this is the orange branch. So I'll probably go to Close to Home again. So from then, because I knew that they are, machine sellers, and I knew that this specific location was more about like their window treatments and their machines more than their fabric. So when I go to their other locations, I'll probably be looking more at their fabric. So I got a Juki foot, a 1/4 inch foot for my Juki, which I'm excited about because I only have the narrow foot and a Teflon foot and a walking foot. Did I get anything else for my Juki? Oh, I got one of those weird roller foots. I say weird because it hasn't worked out the way I wanted it to. The Teflon foot seems to be better for vinyl than the rolling foot is so far. I'm going to keep trying, but so far I'm liking my Teflon foot more than I'm liking the rolling foot. And what else do I want to say? Oh, and I got one of the extras. So it came with a narrow foot, and then I bought one of the extra narrow feet foot, like the 1/8 inch narrow feet. I bought one of those also because I wanted to see how skinny I could get. And then I bought bobbins. Very exciting. And then yesterday I went up to Seymour and I went to the Yankee Quilter, one of my favorite stores. As promised, they don't have a huge fabric selection, but they also were giving out another free pattern for these tulips. So here's a free pattern for tulips. They, like I said, some stores give you more things for free than just the, everyone giving the free, pattern for their book. There's 83 stores. I think I said last year there were 99. This year there are 83 stores. So I think there are 83 of these patterns you can collect in a binder. Anyways, Yankee Quilter had these little packets of fabric, and I'm not exactly sure how many. There's like 4 pieces, but I don't know if I think they're fat eighths is what they are. That's what they look like. They look like fat eighths, but they could just be scraps. I don't know for sure. They gave those. And then while I was there, I said, I'm going to look for pins. And they had my pins that I wanted because most of my pink magic pins look like this. Can you see? Can you see the difference of what? Look at that. That's not what a pin should look like. So I bought another box of magic pins because I love them. I knew I was going to be able to find Moda Grunge. I got 1 and 2 Moda Grunges. They didn't have a ton of colors, but I'm like, okay, grays are always good. And a little light bluish gray with green and like a darker gray with blue. Those are good. And I've got a lot of grunges, but most of my grunges are like pinks, purples, greens, and blues. So I thought those would blend nicely with the grunges I have. And then I was lucky enough to pick up solid black, which is very lucky because I do not have enough solid black in my collection because I don't usually have a ton of solids in general. I'm very much a pattern girl, if you didn't know. And I'm working on something where I need solid black, and I was only able to acquire a scrap piece recently. And I've been a little nervous that I wasn't going to be able to get all my cuts I needed for an FPP I'm working on. So I've been like, if I see more black, I need to get more black because it's Halloween, or people are prepping for Halloween already, and they've been like buying up all the solid black. So when they were in the yards for $8, I'm like, heck yeah! I probably could have bought more, but I'm like, that's too much. I don't need that much solid black. Leave for the others, Natasha. Leave for the others. So got a yard of that. And again, they were also buy 3, get 1 free. And so that was 3 yards. And then I picked up this. Anna Maria Horner again. I have a thing. And this one is from her, which collection? Our Fair Home collection. So more Anna Maria Horner. Isn't that so pretty? But it's a full yard instead of a half yard like the other ones. So now you know who I am. I like pretty things. I like certain designers. I tend to collect. I got to do more sewing, but I am doing a lot of sewing. And since I have no internet or phone, and I don't have to be at work till my preschool job is only like 2 hours anyways, and then I go straight from preschool into family Shabbat. My family Shabbat doesn't start till 11:15, so I don't have to leave here till 10:45. It's now 8:35, and look, my doorbell has not rung. So, hello, repairman is obviously not here, even though I've been trying to ignore the clock. Hopefully he'll be here soon, and I will have internet and phone before I leave at 10:45 to go to work for family Shabbat. Wish me luck. I guess I'm just going to have to sew. Oh no, whatever will I do with my life? Now that I've processed and showed you all my things, I can do it. Now I can use them. Yay. All right, have a great day, and I'll see you guys after Tuesday, after my next shop hop on Tuesday. Bye. Hello from the road. All right, it is 6:30 at night on Tuesday. I just dropped off my friend Sue. I did not check in with you this morning because I did not, but I'm happy to say that we went to 5 shops today. We saw lots of great things, met lots of great people, and I bought a lot of stuff. So I don't know that I'm gonna get to film when I get home. I might, fingers crossed. If I get to film when I get home, I will show you everything I bought so I can edit this video and post it. And if not, I will try to show you everything tomorrow morning. But I just wanted to hop on and smile and say that I had a fantastic day, that it was a wonderful day of shop hopping. And I'm really, really glad that my friend came with me and that we went out and we saw everything we saw and did everything we did, because my cup is full, as they say. My cup is very full. That's it. All right, I'll see you at home. Bye. Okay, I'm home and I'm in pajamas and I'm ready to show you what I bought. All right, we started strong. Picked up my friend this morning at 8 a.m. got on the road, hit a little bit of traffic, dropped my son off at school, and we went straight to Massachusetts, straight to one of my favorites from last year, and that is Valley Fabrics in Northampton, Massachusetts. Here is the free block that I received. I'm going to show you the last thing I bought first. The last thing I purchased at the counter was a bag, because I bought so much fabric, and I knew I loved this store. And these little Miori bags, they're for the pocket, that, you know, collaboration with Ruby Star, or Ruby Star licensed fabrics, and it's a big shopper tote inside. You know, you open it up. I'd seen the strawberry ones like a year ago, and I'm like, oh, I love strawberry, but I don't need one. When I saw the cheetah yellow bag, I'm like, well, now I have to have it. Would you like to see what I got? So from their fabrics that I needed to have cut, I got 2 starries. They fold things so beautifully. Look how beautifully they folded the 2 starries. I got 1 yard of each, the pink on pink and the black on black starries, and they folded that so beautifully for me after cutting. So that's 2 yards. And then off the pre-cut table, things I needed, they're not old fabrics, they're still new. I got more of the hot pink strawberries because I think I've used them all up on my backpack. I never had the black background strawberries, which is just crazy, because why did I not have those? Hello, I love strawberries. And then, I know, departure from Ruby Star for a minute, I got an old Alexander Henry fabric, because I love my Alexander Henry, and I don't have this one. People, I'm looking on my shelf, my Alexander Henry section. This one is not there, so I'm like, I must have that. I don't have every Alexander Henry fabric, because some of them just weren't my style, like all the pinup girls and the cowboys, the motorcycles. Those were never really my style. Neither were like the flaming skeletons. Not really my style, but these people, my style. So I got them. And then I saw this fabric, which is so sweet. Look at that. On yellow with those little mushrooms. Hold on, I can't remember who the designer is on this, so let me take a quick peek. It's definitely someone I've heard of, and I just cannot remember who it is. It is Heather Ross. And the fabric line, it's Wyndham Far Far Away 3 by Heather Ross. So there you go. Look at those. So sweet. So I just, oh, I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. So I was excited to pick up that fabric as well off the pre-cuts. Then I went over to their sale table. Well, not sale table, but their other pre-cut sale. Yeah, it is a sale table where they do pre-cuts that are larger cuts, 2 yards, 3 yards, 4 yards, 5 yards. And the price is reduced basically in half. It's like $8 a yard. And but you have to buy the whole piece, whatever it is, it is. This was a 5 yard cut, and it's the only cut they had. How could I not? I mean, yeah, I know it's 5 yards, and that's a ton of fabric. But how could I not get it? Do you know how much of this, like, coordinating fabric I have? I want to say Mondo. His name's not Mondo. What's his name? Wait, I'm going to open up my drawer. Pause. Mulga, M-U-L-G-A. The fabric line is Mulga Kongs. Look at those hats. I love them. But I have the hats. I have the gorillas. I've got a whole bunch in this drawer. I mean, I've got a whole bunch in this drawer, and now I'm not going to be able to close the drawer. But now I have a whole bunch more. And then I thought, well, now that I have all this fabric, maybe I need to make a quilt, like a 5 yard quilt, because I've got, you know, those 3 yard quilt books, but I also have one of those 5 yard quilt books, and I'm pretty sure I have enough for a 5 yard quilt. This is 5 yards, but I can use this as backing, and then whatever's left over, pajamas. How cute would that be in pajamas? Oh my gosh, I love it. All right, so I bought that. So that was Valley Fabrics. Then the next spot we went down to a store I didn't go to last year. It was misregioned last year. So it's in Chicopee, which is Massachusetts, but it was accidentally misplaced on the map last year, so it wasn't in its rightful spot. So it wasn't in the region, which is why I didn't go to it last year. But it was So Inspired Quilt Shop in, hold on, nope, pause. It was Bayberry Quilt and Gift Shop in Chicopee, Massachusetts. That's my free thing. This was it was a house. It was definitely a house. I'm not sure if the owner lived upstairs, but it was completely a house on a street that was like houses. It was did not look like a store. Like you drove up into a driveway, you're like, I'm driving into someone's house. But it was a store. It was 100% a store, and they had turned over like you came in on the back porch. And then you walked into like the back kitchen, and there's like, you could see the sink, but there's like fabric bolts in front of it. And you're like, all right, they've turned a house into a quilt store. And my friend Sue, who I brought, was just like, wait, we were just in like a warehouse that had become a store and was amazing. And now we're in a house that became a store. I'm like, yep, this is what quilt stores are. They can be anything. Anything can be a quilt store. Maybe a van. Maybe I'll get a van and turn a van into a quilt store. Ooh, maybe I should get a bus, like an old school bus. I could be a traveling quilt store. Gotta have life goals. Maybe that's what I'll be when I grow up. Like an ice cream truck, I'll be like a quilt fabric truck. I don't know if there's a market for that. Anyways, it was a house, and People were lovely inside, and they were doing like an open sew. There's a big table with all these people. Pause. Sorry, I had to pause. Anyways, lovely ladies. Everyone was super nice, but I could tell pretty quick the fabric was not exactly my vibe. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna have a little harder time finding something to buy because they didn't seem to have lots of notions. Usually when the fabric is not my vibe, I look for notions because you can always use pins or something. So I was like, what am I gonna do? Then I noticed they had a lot of pre-cut sales, like kits they had put together, like they designed their own kits, their own quilt kits, pillow kits, that sort of thing. And they put things together with patterns that you can get pretty easily on the internet. And so I saw they had, things on their walls. And again, people were so lovely. And I'm like, Halloween's safe. Totally safe way to go. And so I bought 2 Halloween kits. Thought I'd only buy 1 and get out of there. But then I ended up like really digging this quilt kit. So I started with a Halloween pillow kit. And it's like this like eensy weensy spider kind of thing. Don't know how much you can see, but some Halloween spider. I think I can pull out the paper pattern out of here so you can see the design of, you can kind of see what the sophisticated Halloween panel pillows from Riley Blake Designs. I can show you the picture of it. It's not going to give away any of the dimensions or anything, but this is the pattern that I'm doing, and I chose the spider pillow. So this is what I bought, and they put together the fabric. So I don't know if all the fabrics are Riley Blake or not. I don't know, but the spider panel definitely is. And I do see the orange bats in there, so they've got to be pretty close. If they're not exactly what's in this photo, they're going to be pretty close. And then the second one, the pattern is a Villa Rosa pattern, which is this heirloom, which is just like, it's a panel and then quilt blocks. So I was like, okay, that's pretty basic. But I saw this first, and I saw this stack and I was like, oh, Halloween fabrics. Oh, look how cute. I'm like, that's going to be the back because it's such a large piece. I was just kind of looking through the fabrics. I'm like, oh, I don't need more Halloween fabrics. And then I walked into the other room where they had the quilt hanging, and I fell in love with the panel. So I'm going to pull out the panel because it's right here, because I didn't notice it at first. When I was just looking at the stack of fabrics, I didn't notice the panel for that centerpiece because I'm not a huge panel quilt person. But I thought this panel was so stinking cute that I'm like, yeah, I'm doing it. I just think that is so sweet, so adorable that I'm buying it. Can you see that? I'm behind it, so I can't tell if I'm giving you a good representation. But I just thought that is just such a sweet panel. I really just fell in love with the panel right away. And yeah, I decided I was going to buy the whole quilt kit right there on the spot. I'm doing it. Everyone seemed so nice in the shop. I wanted to support the business. I really loved this panel. I love Halloween fabrics in general. So even if I split it up for some reason, I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm just going to make, why not? Just make it like this. It looked really sweet in the shop. And does it hurt to have a Halloween quilt? I don't think so. If anything else, it'll be something easy to work on. If I break it up, I break it up. I haven't decided. I am working on like some mini quilts right now. So it would be pretty easy to take some of this fabric and incorporate it into some of my mini quilts. But I haven't decided. But I loved the panel. So I bought the whole kit. That's what I'm saying. All right. Then we left Massachusetts back for Connecticut. We were working our way back, and we went to Simsbury. Now Simsbury is closing, and that breaks my heart. But the owner, whose name I just forgot, is it Karen? Can't remember. Anyway, she's retiring and she's closing the store. I don't know if she just didn't want to sell the store or if none of her employees wanted to buy the store. I have no idea, but the store's closing, and that just breaks my heart because it is such a sweet fabric store in Simsbury. This is the free pattern. So that is So Inspired Quilt Shop in Simsbury. And my friend Sue, who's really not a quilter or anything, that was her favorite shop. She was like, oh my gosh, she completely fell in love with it. She fell in love. She bought stuff. She bought fabric in this store. Like, she's not a quilter, and she bought fabric. She's like, how much do I need for a pillow? Cut me that. And I'm like, okay, have them cut it. I picked a couple things. I picked up 2 pre-cut half yards. This is a cotton and steel, and this is, what is this? I think I have this somewhere. Happy Day Mix Tap from Carrie Bloomston. I really love these fabrics, but half yards are really easy, quick, like tote bag fabrics. And I'm like, oh, those will be really good, quick tote bag fabrics right there. So those 2 half yard cuts. Then from the sales rack, because again, they're closing the store. So like the sales rack was 50% off and the regular stuff was 20% off. So from the sales rack, I picked 2 cuts, both Ruby Star, shocking, I know, but the teapots, I think it's, no, I'm not gonna say. I think it's a Sarah Watson, but I'm not gonna say, just in case it's Sarah Watts, but just in case it's not Sarah Watts. Probably is Sarah Watts. Now I'm doubting myself. Is it Sarah Watts who did the teapots? Now I'm gonna look. I have a ton of her fabric in general, so that's why I think that. But it is, yes, it is. It's Sarah Watts. It's like I have a memory. But I really liked that. I thought great for bag linings. Who doesn't love a teapot? And how can you not love How can you not love that? I'm upside down, sideways. What am I? I'm turning them all. I guess the cats are both directions. I love leopards, cheetahs, whatever they are. Big cats, big love. So, and all the flowers. Oh, this is one of those fabrics that I've seen for a while. And every time I see it, I'm like, do I need more of that? And it's a Melody Miller. I've got a lot of Melody Miller in my collection as well. So, so I picked up that. I picked up 2 yards of each because I'm like, well, it's 50% off. I can get twice as much. Half the cost, twice the fabric. But I can cut those up. Those are great for bag linings as well as being additions to other things, to other projects. But my thing I was most excited about, I remembered from last year going to this store in Simsbury, so inspired, that they had Cantha cloth. Now, a lot of stores do not sell Cantha cloth, and I remembered that they did. And I wanted to see if they still had it, and they did. And I was like, that's it. It's 20% off. I'm buying it. I'm buying it. So I bought myself some Cantha cloth. Isn't it gorgeous? It's been on my mind for over a year. So I was thrilled that they still had it and that I could get it for 20% off. I got 2.5 yards and I'm going to make, I think maybe a tamarack jacket out of it. That's what I'm thinking. A tamarack right now out of the Cantha. And it's just, oh, delicious. It's like I said, it's been on my mind. The inside I should show you is just this dark blue. I'm wondering if I should bind it so it can be double-sided because that's just as pretty. Isn't that just as pretty? Oh, so good. I've been thinking about that for a while. So good. All right. So that was Simsbury, store number 3. So it's now store number 4. We went down to Southington, down to close to home. So this was my second close to home. Remember, there are 3 close to homes. This was my second one. And if you'll remember, close to home is a store that sells window treatments, sewing machines. They do sewing machine repair, and they have a small fabric section. This close to home, again, has a kind of small fabric section. It's much more of a machine store. But I was like, I need more thread for my overlocker. I only have white thread and I need a darker thread. I don't know that I think I have black also, but I want a color. I think I want to do like a purple or a blue, something like this. So I want to, and I know they're going to have overlocker thread. So, or serger thread, however you want to call it, overlocker, serger, same diff. So I'm like, that's what I'm going for. I'm going for thread. And then while I'm there, well, I got it. I got this color. You don't need to see all 3 spools, but I got 3 spools because I have a 3-spool overlocker. It's Pansy color. Maxi Lock is the brand. Color Pansy. It's like this beautiful dark purple. So I thought, perfect. Got that done. Got my purple overlocker thread. And then I checked out their 1-yard cuts were buy 2, get 1 free. It's even better than buy 3, get 1 free. And I fell in love with this fabric right here. I mean, how cute. They got little ladybugs walking between the logs. And I was just like, well, that's adorable. I love me some ladybugs. So I picked up that and I was like, well, instead of just buying 1, it's buy 2, get 1 free. So I picked up 2 more, pretty colors that I like that will make good bindings or good interiors, pockets, etc. So those will get used, and that led us to thinking, okay, the nice thing about the town of Southington is they also had an LL Bean store, an LL Bean, what's it called? Not surplus, like where they have extra stuff. What's that called? I can't remember what it's called, but they had one of those stores where everything's cheaper. LL Bean, but cheaper. And my friend wanted to go there. And I'm like, of course, we also stopped for lunch along the way. Like there was a food stop. And so now we're like, okay, let's go do something other than fabric shopping. We've done 4 fabric stores. But between fabric shopping, eating food, having a fantastic meal, by the way. Like we had a pizza. We went to a pizza place, but it was like a sports bar. I ended up having barbecue. What was it? Barbecue pulled pork, grilled cheese. Oh my God, it was so amazing. So good. Anyways, between all this, by the time we were leaving, close to home, it was going to be, we weren't going to make it to the last place we were going to because it was now like 3:45 and the last place we were going to go closed at 4. So I said, let's pick a different store. And there was a store that wasn't going to close until after 5. So we went to the LL Bean store instead. And then we went to the last close to home. So now I've done all 3 close to homes. They were delightful. We ended up getting there after LL Bean and driving traffic. We ended up getting there at like 4:40. So, we were like the last people of the day. And I noticed my friend Sue eyeing this fabric. She was like, oh my gosh, look at that rainbow. Look at those colors. She had really liked these fabrics. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to get that as a, what are these called? Layer cake. I forgot what it was called for a second, the 10-inch squares. And I'm going to make her a layer cake quilt because I think she would really appreciate that. And I remember, and she had pointed out these fabrics specifically as we passed by them on the shelves. So I thought, there you go. Dottie Thatched by Robin Pickens. She had picked those out as we'd walked around the stores during the days. Like in other stores, she had been like, oh my God, this fabric. So that's it. That's everything. Thank you for watching. Hopefully I'll be going to another shop hop day next week in October, and hopefully I will finish everything for the state of Connecticut. So I know I'm cramming a lot into this September video. I think I'm posting this as a September only video and then posting everything I do in October as a separate video. I don't know how balanced they'll be, if September will be really long and October will be really short. I have no idea, but it is what it is. And thank you for watching. If you liked it, click the like, subscribe, tell your friends, and get out there and support some small businesses. Bye.